Right folks, how y'all doing? Will here. So, 2 days ago I released my UFC 189 picks about 7 PM British time, and about 1 AM British time, about 5-6 hours later, as fate would have it, Jose Aldo pulls out his fight and Chad Mendes will now face Conor McGregor for the interim UFC Featherweight Championship. When I made my video for UFC 189, I was contemplating breaking down both Aldo v McGregor and McGregor versus Mendes, and I thought, no, I'm going to stick with it. Mendes, Aldo is still in the card, so I'm just going to stick with that. And then that happens. Surprise, surprise, which happens with me quite a lot. So I thought I'd make a little video for McGregor versus Mendes, which I think is a great fight still. A lot of people are complaining about it. There's a lot of the Irish people that I believe that aren't going to make the trip over. A few that I know of, which I think is ridiculous. You're going for the experience. Even if McGregor got pulled from the card, I was still going to go no matter what, even though I'm a big McGregor fan. Interesting matchup, and we're going to have a lot of questions answered here. Can McGregor beat the wrestler? Because Chad Mendes is one of the best wrestlers in that division, if not the best one in the featherweight division. A really interesting matchup, and the guys obviously don't like each other. Back earlier on, I think it was this year, or maybe even late last year, I think it was late last year, McGregor was on the BT show over here, and Chad Mendes phoned in before his fight with Aldo, fight week during UFC 179. And Conor McGregor said, "I'll rest my balls in your head," referring to him being a midget pretty much. And since then there's been a bit of bad blood between the pair of them, and it's culminating this when next Saturday night in the MGM, these two are going to face off for the interim title. Do I think there should be an interim title on the line? Not one bit. The UFC are desperate to throw gold around Conor McGregor, because Conor McGregor is money to the UFC, big money to the UFC. So I don't really agree with that. But it makes it interesting, I suppose, if it sets up Aldo versus Mendes, which really we don't want to see again. Aldo has beaten Mendes twice, but McGregor, if he were to win that strap, it's kind of champion versus champion, as it was with Verdum versus Velasquez. So I say I'm not a big fan of this whole interim title thing, especially when Jose Aldo can probably fight in about 7 to 8 weeks time. I don't like it that much, but yeah. So the matchup, you've got kind of your striker versus your grappler here, but Chad Mendes does have some really, his striking is coming along. He's not one of the best strikers in the division, but he has some big power, and he showed that with knockouts in the division. He knocked out Clay Guida. That doesn't happen very much. He knocked out Ricardo Lamas with a big shot about 2 months ago back in Virginia. With a couple of big shots, he took him out and just willed the life out of him for the stoppage there. And he's got that wrestling to fall back on. Do I think he can strike with McGregor? I think he can a little bit, but I think McGregor's power, I said in my Aldo video that McGregor is the hardest hit in the division. And probably Mendes might be number 2 alongside Aldo as the big hitter in that division. But McGregor, I think, is by far the better striker with the most power in that division. And the thing with McGregor is he uses his reach so well. He makes himself longer than he seems. He throws that right out and hits that big left. He comes across, he hit Poirier with a couple of huge lefts, and really hurt Poirier, and it kind of set up the big finish. And see, it's going to be interesting to see if McGregor kicks as much as he was. But I can see him in the fight with Aldo. I can see him kicking quite a lot. In this fight, I think he'll maybe have to rein in a little bit, because Chad Mendes is going to be looking for legs, and he's going to be looking for that takedown and try and pound you out through the bottom, or at least lay on you. Personally, I think McGregor, people are underestimating McGregor because he hasn't faced a wrestler, and I reckon he's going to put this to sleep very early on. I think in the Seaver fight, he threw them kicks out and he got caught and he kind of taken down momentarily, didn't get kept there for too long, got back up. I can see Mendes doing that, but I can see McGregor getting up very, very quickly. I've just got, if he can get the underhooks, I feel he's going to, I think they've been working quite a lot on underhooks from what I'm hearing. If he can get that underhook, I think he can easily pull Mendes back to his feet, and then it's back into McGregor's forte again. I think a big thing in this, I think there's like a 10-inch reach advantage in this fight for McGregor, and that's huge. And he's punching down on Mendes, who's the shorter fight, about 3 or 4 inches as well. See, I'm not going to change my pick. I still think Conor McGregor is going to leave with gold. I think it's a tougher matchup. I think it's a whole lot tougher matchup than Jose Aldo. I think McGregor was beating Jose Aldo pretty convincingly. And especially if he fought with injury, I think it would have been. I just think it would have been silly. So I'm kind of glad that Aldo did pull out a little bit. But I like Conor McGregor in this fight. I think he will win. I think it's going to take longer than it would have took with Jose Aldo, but I think I can see a knockout finish for Conor McGregor. Late third round, maybe early fourth. He's saying first round. I don't see that whatsoever. It could definitely happen with Conor McGregor, no doubt about it. But I like probably an early fourth round finish for Conor McGregor for me. So that's my pick for Conor McGregor versus Chad Mendes. So I've got a couple of videos there out. I've got UFC 189, all the rest of the other fights on there with Aldo and McGregor, and I've got this out here just for the viewers, because a few people have been asking what are your picks, so I thought I'd put this out. So that's my pick. I'm actually going to stand here for another 5, 10, 15 minutes and film the TUF finale on the Saturday, and then later on tonight I'm going to film not the Ultimate Fighter, UFC Fight Night from San Diego, Mir versus Duffy. So come check them out when you get time, and thanks again.